I have biracial children. I have a son who is half Mexican, and I have two daughters who are half Black. But even if I did not have biracial children, this would be one of the most concerning things I have ever seen come out of the U.S. government. I came across the Department of Homeland Security post yesterday morning, November 28th, that said that the plan is remigration now. And I did a deep dive into remigration. And I read Project 2025, so I know that the goal of the country for Project 2025 authors is an all-white country, a country that looks like me but doesn't look like my children. And I did a deep dive into remigration, its history and what it means. And I cannot overstate how important it is for us all to become educated on this. I'm doing a series on remigration, and I will put it together in a playlist. I'm going to post them all today because we need to know all of this. But I don't ask you guys often, once in a while, to share this. But please share this for our neighbors of color, for our friends and our family members of color, and for 3 of my children, that if this policy goes through, could very well be stripped of their American citizenship. Share this, learn, and be on alert. And go love your neighbor.
I need everyone who voted for this to come to the front. Department of Homeland Security put out a post that said, re-immigration now. Now, if you don't know what re-immigration is, it's a far-right concept of ethnic cleansing. They're essentially trying to whitewash the country. That means that they want no minorities. The way that they are doing that is by removing Hispanic, Mexican immigrants. But please know that the rest of us, the Blacks, any other minority, mixed race, biracial, however you identify, you are not pure white. They're coming for you too. So what I would like is for everyone who voted for this administration to let me know in the comments whether you knew you were voting for this and this is what you stand by, or if you feel like this isn't what you voted for and you are no longer supporting this administration. And those of you that didn't vote for this, let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I am absolutely disgusted that this is the America that we live in. What happened to checks and balances? Rant over.
Ever since the talk of remigration and mass deportation policies started spreading, many families, especially mixed families, are feeling more worried than ever. And yes, that includes a lot of white folks who voted for Trump, thinking the policies would never touch them or their homes. Now reality is hitting differently. Many of them are waking up to the fact that these kinds of policies don't just affect strangers or distant communities. They affect real families, they affect real children, they affect neighbors, co-workers, friends, and spouses. And for families with biracial kids, immigrant partners, mixed backgrounds, or multicultural households, the fear is even stronger. Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking. When you saw this video, so I'm going to let the rest of the videos roll, then I'll come back with more commentary. Do well to let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go watch.
Well, the official Homeland Security account is once again advocating for remigration, a term that has a very dark history in far-right politics. They said the stakes have never been higher and the goal has never been more clear. Remigration now. Then down here they post 2 times saying help arrest them, help deport them, please join ICE. For anybody who's unfamiliar with this term, here's what it means. It's a European far-right concept of ethnic cleansing via the mass deportation of non-white minority populations, especially immigrants and sometimes including those born in Europe and holding European citizenship, to their place of racial ancestry. This isn't a neutral word, it is a dog whistle with a very specific and dangerous meaning. They're essentially saying they want to go after every single person who is not white in this country, even if you came here the legal way. That includes people who were born here but may have parents or even grandparents that weren't born here. They're going after them too, anybody who's not deemed white enough. And even worse, they're posting links encouraging the general public to help arrest and deport innocent people. This is not how American law enforcement or immigration enforcement is supposed to work at all. U.S. policy should be grounded in the law and the Constitution, not imported extremist far-right ideology.
Remigration now is code for ethnic cleansing and mass deportations, whether you're a citizen or not. It started meaning that certain demographics were returning home voluntarily, but it's been hijacked mostly by European neo-Nazi circles and alt-right circles here in the United States, the same ones that are actually running our government at the moment, to mean not returning home and not voluntarily, but more along the lines of, let's get rid of anyone we don't want in this country that we want to be all white. Yes, this term has traveled from European fascist circles and movements into possibly and quite obviously, I would say, into the U.S. government's language. And yeah, we should definitely be concerned. It's far-right extremist code for eliminate, extinguish, exterminate, and deport anyone that you don't feel belongs, whether they are citizens or not, whether they were born here or not, whether their family has been here longer than you or not. Which means Any of us can get it. And yes, the same ideology behind the remigration theory or movement or solution is also the Great Replacement theory. It's behind the anti-immigration laws. It's behind the book bans, the voter purges, the anti-trans laws, the anti-black fear-mongering. And it's behind every attempt to shrink who counts as a real American and who doesn't. It's colonial logic. With language like this, the United States government is laying the groundwork so that they can decide who gets to stay, who gets to be erased, and who gets to be protected. Notice how when they talk about remigration, they're not talking about sending themselves anywhere else. No, they talk about Latinos, Muslims, Africans, Asian communities, Palestinians. Let's keep it real. Black Americans have seen this before. From slave patrols to sundown towns, the agenda has always been the same. Control the demographics, you control the power. So we're going to call it what it is. It's ethno-nationalism. No matter how they try to dress it up as a cute little euphemism, we see what it is. Everyone should see what it is and what they're saying. They want a white America, a whites only America. And they're not being quiet about it anymore.
Do you guys remember the speech J.D. Vance gave, I believe, on the 4th of July, where he talked about the descendants of those that fought in the Civil War and who were real Americans? Well, I want to show you something that looks separate at first, but when you put the pieces together, it becomes extremely clear. It's that speech J.D. Vance gave this summer about real Americans and how it fits right into this remigration language coming from the Trump administration and the Department of Homeland Security. So earlier this year, J.D. Vance gave a speech where he argued that being American isn't just about believing in freedom or democracy, or even your citizenship. Instead, he said it is the, quote, the people whose ancestors fought in the Civil War have a hell of a lot more claim over America than people who say they don't belong. Do you hear that? He's arguing that your bloodline, your ancestry, determines who are real Americans, not your values, not your contributions to this country, not the Constitution, not even your citizenship, your lineage. This is a major shift. And for those of us who read Project 2025, we knew it was coming, but now it's in full swing. Because compare Vance's word to the concept of remigration, which comes from the far right in Europe, where belonging is based on your heritage and your ancestry and, quote, original stock. So these ideas share the same foundation. Citizenship is based on bloodlines. Some people are more American than others, and people without the right ancestry are suspect, lesser, and don't belong. Reimmigration says only ancestral natives truly belong here, and others can be pressured or even forced to leave. So Vance says only ancestral Americans truly belong, and others have lesser claims. These are identical policies, and they are being driven by the same worldview, a framework that says real and not real Americans depend on your bloodline. And when the Department of Homeland Security posts remigration now and Trump posts about denaturalizing citizens with dual citizenship, the pattern becomes obvious. Define who counts, delegitimize who doesn't, remove protections, and then remove the people. Vance's speech is part of that ideological scaffolding, and they started laying the framework way back this summer. And now DHS has said, without any ambiguity, that this is the plan. It's about rewriting American identity around bloodline, ancestry, and lineage instead of the Constitution. When political leaders start sorting Americans into real and less real, history tells us exactly what comes next. And now we see the exact language, remigration, entering the U.S. government messaging. And we need to pay attention. Go love your neighbor.
The administration has decided they want remigration. I have some questions. Does Europe know we're coming? There are like 192 million white people in this country. That's a lot of people. That we should probably give them a heads up. We're coming for a sleepover. Do we get to choose where we live? Do we get to choose the country? Or is it going to be like an ancestry kind of thing? What if we don't know our ancestry? Are they going to do like a 23andMe to decide where we go? And what kind of timeline are we talking about? And that's a lot of housing to figure out. And none of us have jobs, and we don't speak the languages, so there's gonna be an adjustment period. Do we get to take our 401ks? What about our houses and all our stuff? We're just gonna leave it? Well, you're gonna clean your house so that the next occupant is like ready to move in, like turnkey, or is it? Now, are we gonna do a one drop rule? I mean, if you've got one drop of European ancestry, you're gonna yeet? Because then that could be 250 million people, and that's a lot. It's a lot of people. It's a really lot of people. Just a reminder: this is not our home. We came from somewhere else. We are not indigenous to this continent. Act accordingly.
The orange prides himself in using big words. Remember to obliterate. How about affordability? Well, his latest word is remigration. You know what that word means? I didn't think you did. It's a European word, a white nationalist term for making sure that the country remains white. They will take anyone of color, United States citizens, people born here, and they will re-migrate them. That means out of the country. Can you believe that? So if you have biracial children or biracial grandchildren, your world's about to change. Supposed to be a teacher, comedian, satirist. Then, what do you think? What do you think?
These families are asking, themselves questions they never thought they would have to ask in America. What happened to us? What happened to my spouse? What happened to my children? What happens if the government decides my family is not American enough? People are suddenly realizing that harsh immigration policies don't come with a label saying only for certain people. When the system becomes aggressive, it doesn't care who voted for who. It doesn't care about your political loyalty. It doesn't care that you supported the candidate policies that check voter history. They just create, consequences. That is why so many families, especially white families with biracial children, are panicking right now. They are realizing that, this is bigger than politics. This is about safety. This is about family unity. It's about children who now feel targeted or unsafe in their own country. A lot of white Americans who supported Trump never believed things like deportation or remigration would ever reach their doorstep. They thought it would, only affect others. But now, with increasing tension and talk about extreme policies, they are, seeing the truth. Their own families could be caught in the crossfire. And it's not just fear inside their homes, schools, communities, workplaces. Everywhere you look, you can see signs of tension. People are more protective of their children. Parents are keeping a closer eye. Biracial kids are, asking questions that parents don't know how to answer. Some families are even discussing emergency plans just in case. The reality is simple. America is more diverse than ever. Millions of families are interracial, multicultural, or mixed in some way. So when a policy threatens certain groups, it indirectly, kind of threatens almost everyone, because modern American families are connected. Not one, lives in a bubble anymore. Okay, a lot of people who once brushed off these policies as just politics are now facing the human side of what those policies would actually look like, and it's scary. It focuses on people to think deeply about the kind of country they want their children to grow up in, right? Many white parents with biracial children are realizing that their kids may be, viewed differently in the eyes of the system, something they never truly considered before. And now that fear is real. It's kind of hits home. It wakes people up. This is why so many former, and current Trump supporters are right now uncomfortable. They feel betrayed by the very policies they once supported, because now they see how it affects the people they love most. And when something hits your family, the conversations, changes completely. At the end of the day, fear doesn't care about race or politics. When families feel threatened, people start paying attention. They start, kind of questioning their choices. Did we even do right? Did we vote for the right candidate? Those policies did we actually take time to listen to them? Or, things like, oh, we didn't read Project 2025. If we had taken time to read Project 2025, maybe, just maybe, we would have had a glimpse of what is to come and, what's we are currently seeing. Did we listen to people who warned us about those immigration policies and how it's going to affect us? Now, this is where it gets even tougher, because a lot of people actually told them what was going to happen, especially black folks who were all over the internet writing blogs, doing vlogs, just different things, TikTok, YouTube, just name it. They were everywhere on the internet preaching and telling them exactly what will happen if they vote against their own interests. But yeah, a lot of them didn't listen. Now those policies are coming to them and they are feeling super sad about it, and they are wishing they wish they had listened. They start speaking out, and that is exactly what we are seeing now across America. The message is clear. When policies go too far, everyone becomes a target. When families feel unsafe, people wake up. And right now, a lot of Americans, especially those with biracial children, are waking up. Not only that waking up, they are waking up fast. This was one thing that would have been avoided if they had taken time to really understand the impact of their votes and the consequences therein. But no, a lot of them didn't take time to really do all of that. And now the freak out has begun. Okay, if re-immigration happens, who exactly will be affected? Well, guys, let me know what your own take are in the comments. I would love to read from you. Please share your take in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all on my next. Bye, guys.